Hi guys, James at Rampant Lion Reviews again for you today with another beer review. For this one we are going to head up towards Gothenburg once again, or Göteborg you should say in Swedish, which as I've mentioned to you many a time is the craft beer city when it comes to Sweden. And we're going to go back to a brewery who you've seen me review maybe 3 or 4 different beers from now, and this particular one is a style that I'm not overly familiar with, but it's one that I really want to get into over the next little while. So we're going to have a taste of another beer from Spike Brewery, who are from the Gamlestaden area of the city, and we're having a taste of the Dusty Fingers, which comes in at 7.2%, and this one is a Brut IPA. And as I say, this is an IPA that is brewed with a champagne yeast, and the main one that I've tried recently was the Swedish wash from Mikkeller, which was really nice. But yeah, this is one that as I say, it's a style that I've only tried 1 or 2 of, but it seems to be getting quite popular, particularly over in America, so very curious to see how this one turns out. It's a brewery that I've had many good experiences with in the past, so I'm hoping that this is another one that kind of lives up to that. But anyway, as is usual with my reviews then, I'll tell you a little bit about the brewery. If you want to get straight to the tasting, just fast forward. All the usual links are in the description below. That's the brewery website, the link to my other reviews that I've done from Spike Brewery before. No doubt I will add some more in the near future. There's all the usual social media. If you want to see more beer reviews, do please consider subscribing to the channel. The whole channel of course has a geography based tagging system, so you can go into the home page and search for beer based on country, city, state, county, prefecture, whatever it is you're interested in. Do check out the playlist of beers from different countries. There is one there for all the Swedish beers that I've reviewed for you before. That's constantly being added to, and as always, please do get in touch and let me know some of the other beers and breweries that you guys would like to see me review. It's always great to hear from you guys that are watching the videos, and the support that you're showing, that you show the channel, is hugely appreciated. So anyway, to tell you a little bit about Spike Brewery then. So as I mentioned to you before, Spike Brewery are based in Gothenburg, and they were founded back in 2014 by Mats Westberg, Marcus Axberg and Martin Johansson. All 3 of these guys had previously worked in the IT industry, but now it's only Mats and Marcus who are active in the company. The brewer that they have is Bernardo Gava, who's originally from Brazil, but he trained at VLB in Berlin, which is quite a well-known brewing school actually, and then he joined the company in 2017. But at the moment they're producing around 250,000 litres of beer per year, and about 25% of that total volume is actually used to contract brew for other breweries in Gothenburg. You know, there's a hell of a lot of gypsy brewers around the Gothenburg area, and you know, there's some really good beer up there. As I mentioned to you, Gothenburg is the craft beer city when it comes to Sweden. But this brewery itself can be found in the Gamlestaden area, and they have an on-site tap room which opens up on Saturdays and also serves food. They do burgers and things like that. It actually looks very nice. It's one of these kind of really cool sort of converted industrial factory kind of things. It looks very nice, so hopefully when I do make it up to Gothenburg I can go and have a little look at it. I think it should be very interesting to go and see that. But they seem to be a brewery that specialise in IPAs. I can't think if I've seen stouts and porters and stuff like that from them, but probably with the amount of beers that they do, they are fairly prolific. They probably will have done those at some point. But yeah, one of the breweries that seems to be hitting up Gothenburg pretty well, and it's only recently, I think it's only within the last kind of year and a half, 2 years or something like that, that their cans have been available through Systembolaget, so I'm glad that I'm able to review these for you on the channel, and this is review number 4 I think from this brewery if I remember correctly. But yeah, that's all you really need to know about them just now. If you want to learn a little bit more, do check out the brewery website in the description below. You can follow them on Facebook and Instagram and stuff like that, and that will keep you up to date with all the latest goings on there. So yeah, let's get on to the tasting of this beer itself. So as you can see with this one, the artwork on this is quite interesting. It looks like it's a pile of you know, vinyl records. I think that's really cool actually. I thought it was books originally, but then I looked at it a bit more closely and I saw it said like vinyl and things on it there. So really quite nice label on this one, I have to say. So well done to Spike Brewery for that. This one of course is the Spike Brewery symbol, and yeah, other than that there's not too much to look at on the can. But yeah, Brut IPA coming in at 7.2%. Let's get it out and we'll get on with the tasting. If memory serves me correctly, this is only like the 3rd or 4th Brut IPA that I've had a taste of, but it's only the 2nd one that I've reviewed for you on the channel. So far we've had one Danish and one Swedish, and I've got a feeling that I might have another one at some point for you fairly soon, so we'll see how that works out. But yeah, that's the one thing you will notice about the Brut IPAs. As soon as you open up, there is that little bit of carbonation in there because of the champagne yeast. But you can see with this one, it's poured a very kind of pale, yellowy golden straw. You could see there was a solid finger of a frothy But kind of it's going more towards being a bumpy white head on this one actually. So yeah, in terms of Brut IPAs, as I say, I think the Swedish Wash had a kind of similar appearance to it, but yeah, very light kind of pale yellowy golden straw colour, one or two big bubbles sticking towards the side of the glass and a few little ones heading up towards the bottom of that head there. But you know, overall it does look pretty nice, and as I say, I think this is the sort of appearance that you should expect for a Brut IPA. But yeah, when you open the bottle up, of course, or the can, sorry, you can definitely smell a nice sort of fruity aroma coming out of this one. You can smell that sort of peary, appley kind of thing from the, you know, from the champagne yeast as well. So let's take a closer look at the aroma then and just see how we get on with this one. Oh, that smells really nice actually. I'm wondering if there's a little bit of Simcoe in here. I think there might be a little touch of Mosaic. When I opened this one up, I was thinking there was a little bit of a tangerine-y, orangey kind of thing. There's maybe a little bit of Citra. I'm picking up a little bit of mango-y quality in this one as well. So the aroma for me, a little bit of passion fruit, a little bit of mangoes, maybe a little bit of tangerine. I'm not sure. It could be like it might even be Galaxy actually. Maybe it could be a Galaxy Citra Mosaic kind of combination. This one, that triple hop thing seems to be quite popular in there these days rather, but this one smells very, very nice. Underneath that, as I say, you can definitely pick out, there's a little bit of an almost lychee, gooseberry sort of quality to this one, and that mixes very well with this sort of appley, kind of peary, almost orchardy vibe that this beer has. And this is something that I think I said about the Swedish Wash as well. You know, it has the Brut IPAs and the more vinous type beers, they always have this little bit of a kind of orchardy fruit kind of quality to them, and you really pick that up in this beer as well. So as I say, a little bit of passion fruit, a little bit of mango. I think there's a touch of tangerine orange in there, quite a juicy orange. A little bit of lychee and gooseberry in the back as well, some peary and appley kind of notes coming out of it as well. And it's leaning more towards that. When you take it in a bit more deeply, that's when you get the slightly bigger aromas like the passion fruit and stuff like this. But yeah, when you take it in a little bit more lightly, the more juicy aromas, when you waft it like this, the chemistry waft as I always used to call it, we used to have to do this in the labs with different chemicals so we didn't, you know, destroy our noses and stuff like this. But yeah, with this one, it's definitely got that nice orchardy vibe to it. There's a lot of nice grassy quality in there as well. It does smell quite fresh. And again, if you take it in a little bit more deeply, you can pick up a little bit of an almost slightly spicy floral aromaticity, but it's got a nice kind of pale malty backbone to it as well. I don't know if there's a little touch of an oaty quality to this one, but it's definitely got a little bit of a pale malty backbone in that. Maybe even a little touch of a biscuity sweetness, which is quite nice. But yeah, overall, the aroma is very nice. It leans towards the fruity, juicy side of things. You've got a little bit of grassy floral character in there from the hops, and you've got a typically kind of light sort of kind of pale bready sort of malt base with this one. But it smells very, very nice actually, very inviting, very light and very kind of fresh. Quite a summery smelling beer, I think it's fair to say about this one. And as I say, this is a style I'm not an expert in. I think this is, as I say, only the second one I'm reviewing for you here on the channel, but this is one of the exciting things we do in beer reviews. But yeah, it does smell quite nice, and of course you can pick up a little bit of the, you know, the sort of vinous-y, almost like tart lemony kind of quality with this one, the champagne-y type notes. But that mixes well with those peary appley esters that I was talking about earlier. But yeah, without further ado then, let's take a little look at this beer and see how we get on. So this one is the Dusty Fingers, a Brut IPA coming in at 7.2% from the Spike Brewery up in Gothenburg here in Sweden. Let's get stuck in. Slange, skål. Yeah, now that's nice, I will say that straight away. This is a nice beer. The Brut IPAs, I mean, I've seen some people say that they really kind of don't like these, but it's something different. I mean, to be honest, they remind me a little bit of just, you know, some of the old school paleos a little bit that are more bready and things like that. It almost seems just like it's an extra arm of the New England beers a little bit. It leans, you know, these Brut IPAs are a little bit closer to the New England IPAs for me than they are in comparison to the old West Coast IPAs. And it really, I guess it really just depends on what your kind of preference is. But I think this is a nice one. I mean, the Brut IPAs, I've probably come a little bit late to the show, to be honest with you. But then again, I don't think too many of the European craft breweries are producing the Brut IPAs. A lot of people were kind of focusing on the New England ones, and some of them are starting to bring back the old, the West Coast IPAs now. But there's not too many breweries out there that are producing these Brut IPAs, as far as I can gather. If I'm saying something that's wrong, of course, with that, please do let me know. Some of the breweries in the comment section below. But in Sweden, at least, you don't see too many of these. Even in Copenhagen, I can't recall seeing too many of these. But yeah, I like what they've done with this. It goes together really nicely. I mean, it's just like it's a very light and very kind of easy drinking beer, this one, which is, it's kind of everything you want. You want a nice kind of sessionable beer. It's almost like you've taken the New England beer and sort of taken the mouthfeel back a little bit, just to be that little bit more kind of crisp and drinkable, if you like. It's more a kind of it almost has like a sort of pilsnery type mouthfeel to it, but it's got a little bit of the New England flavour in there. But of course, it is a little bit not quite as creamy and oaty. Of course, I think that's an interesting place to kind of put these Brut IPAs. But I like what they've done with this one. So let's try and break this down a little bit then. To be fair, and I think I said the same about the last Brut IPA I reviewed. In terms of the aroma with this one, the aroma is actually quite telling when it comes to the flavour, because it pretty much tastes kind of as you would expect from the aroma. So in the middle of your palate, you just feel it kind of blanketed with this nice pale malty quality. It's got a little bit of that almost white bready note to it. There is a little touch of a kind of almost oaty creaminess or a wheaty smoothness to it. It does have an underlying kind of smoothness and sweetness to it, this beer. Maybe in the very centre of your palate there's a little touch of a slightly biscuity malt to this one. Yeah, I don't think from the mouthfeel, I mean, Pilsner malt is always very distinctive. I don't think they've used any Pilsner malt in this to give it a little bit of extra crispness. That's probably all the way down to the yeast, and I mean, the yeast can have a big effect on the way the malts come out, and with this one you can feel that it does have a little bit of that vinous kind of quality there. So those bready kind of oaty qualities that I'm talking about in this one, it does just have a little touch of that kind of vinous, winey sort of quality to it, and it works really well actually. It adds just another kind of slight layer of complexity to this one. It's another, as I say, I would probably regard the Brut IPAs as being fairly more related to the New England IPAs than I would to the West Coast ones, but I like what it's kind of doing together. I mean, if you like sour IPAs and stuff like that, then probably the Champagne one, and that's maybe these Champagne Yeast, it's probably another good way to describe this one. If you like sour IPAs and you like New England IPAs, the Brut IPAs to me seem to be a little bit of a way to meet in the middle, to be honest with you, although these don't quite have the same tartness as you might get from some of the Brettanomyces and Lactobacillus IPAs. But yeah, it's a very nice, very fresh, refreshing style, this one, I think it's fair to say. But the malt base is nice and very light in this one. On the hoppy side of things then, back corners of the palate, there's a little touch of earthiness there. That's making me wonder if there is a little bit of mosaic in here, because it's quite a light earthiness and one of the kind of more distinctive qualities of the mosaic hop. As you come further forward on this one, you can feel that earthiness just smooths out a little bit, and then it becomes more kind of grassy and floral. There's almost a little slight touch of a slightly spicy note to this one. Then round the very front curve of the tongue, it becomes a little bit lighter and more grassy, which is very, very nice. Yeah, so with this one then, as I always say, you get that nice oily bubble behind the front curve of your palate, and that's where those juicy, fruity esters start to come out of the beer. So for me, this one has kind of everything I was expecting. There's a little bit of a kind of mango-y note in there, there's a little touch of passion fruit. I'm really wondering if it's Citra and Galaxy in there, but when you come further forward on the tongue, there's a slightly more juicy tangerine note, and that's making me wonder mosaic. If I was hedging my bets, I would say Citra, Galaxy and mosaic in this one. I think that's what they've used here. I always like playing guess the hops with these IPAs when you don't know exactly what they've used. But yeah, right in the very centre at the tip of your tongue, there's a little touch of a blueberry note there. You can definitely feel a little bit of a kind of gooseberry lychee sort of thing coming out of this one, which is very, very nice. And it's just all the way that all of these kind of fruits go together. The grassy esters that you've got, they do have this sort of appley, kind of peary, almost like, it's almost a little like a little touch of a kind of cider like kind of quality to them. It's almost got a little bit of that kind of green grapiness in there as well. The gooseberries, there's a lot of kind of these lighter fruits going on in this one, and probably some of that will be coming from the yeast as well. As you know, the yeast is the often forgot about part of the beer, but it can contribute hugely to the flavour of it, of course. And the Brut IPA is definitely a beer style where that's highlighted, and the Belgian beers, of course, as well, are where it's really all about the yeast. And for me, this one, as I say, comes across very nicely. The Brut IPA is definitely a style that's growing on me, and this one, as I say, you know, it works out very well. It's a nice summer beer, this one, so if you want something nice, light and refreshing for a really hot day, then go for this. It's got the hoppiness that you'd want from the IPA, and it's got a little bit more of that kind of crispness thing. It really helps bring out the carbonation. But yeah, for me, this one gets a thumbs up. As I say, this is a style that I definitely want to learn a little bit more about. And I just noticed on the back of the can there, actually, this beer, vegan friendly, but obviously don't drink it if you're pregnant. But yeah, nice, really nice beer, this one. So if you like the style, then have a go at this one. And this is one that I had to actually order through Systembolaget, so I'm not sure if it's available on the shelves. But yeah, lovely beer, this one. As I say, I think Citra, Mosaic and probably Galaxy they've used in this one, and it works really nicely. So mouthfeel to this one then, either it's bottom end of mid-bodied to top end of light-bodied. Got a good little bit of crispness to it. The carbonation does have a little bit of activity into it, considering it's a champagne yeast. You know, that isn't really surprising. The mouthfeel leans towards the wet side of things, but I think later on it does become just a little touch more oily. Good little bit of bitterness to this one, maybe 40 IBUs. Good bit of juicy fruity quality, and the malt base, as I said, is very smooth, but just with a little kind of touch of sweetness. And I think this beer does become a little bit drier the further that you go into it. This beer does have a good little bit of dryness to it. But to sum it up, if you like the New England IPAs and you like the sour IPAs, this one I think kind of meets somewhere in the middle. It doesn't quite have the tartness that you might want from a sour IPA right enough, but it has that light kind of crisp carbonated mouthfeel to it, but it's also got some of the smoothness that you'd want from the New England IPA. And as I say, I think this style really is a kind of offshoot more of the New England style rather than the West Coast style, of course. But it's a lovely beer, this one, and I certainly wouldn't hesitate to drink it again. Drink this on a hot summer's day, and I think you will get quite a nice experience out of this one. So yeah, let's leave it at that. The Dusty Fingers, a really nice and quite interesting Brut IPA from Spike Brewery up in Gothenburg. If you are watching from different places in Europe, please do let me know some other Brut IPAs that I should check out. As I say, this is a style that I quite fancy getting a little bit more into, because I quite like it, but we don't see too many of them in Sweden, unfortunately. So yeah, do give me some pointers to look out for some of these ones. And as I say, I think I've got another one that I can review for you fairly soon, so we'll see how that one goes. But yeah, once again, thank you for watching my beer reviews. Until the next time, please like, subscribe, share, all the usual YouTube stuff. Let me know your own thoughts on this beer in the comment section below. Let me know what your favourite beers are from Spike Brewery as well. I'm sure I'll return to these guys in the fairly near future. Let me know some other Brut IPAs from across Europe, and we'll see about reviewing those in the near future. But thank you again for watching, and I will catch you guys very soon. Make sure you check out my social media. This was the Dusty Fingers, a Brut IPA from Spike Brewery up in Gothenburg. Until the next time, slange just now, and I'll catch you guys later. Skål. Make sure you check out this beer.